I've got another FNAF theory based on the newest game, Secrets of the Mimic. I can't believe I only found out that it released a few days ago, though. I only found that out a few days ago that it released. But anyways, I believe that the canon ending is the one where the Mimic chases you down and breaks your window and steals the data diver. Because we see the Mimic, the M2, get burnt in the lava as it falls. But we know that there's two Mimics. If they have different bodies, then that would also explain why the Mimic caught up to us and didn't kill us and we stole the data diver. So the one that caught up to us was M1, Fiona. She stole the data diver because she didn't want Fazbear Entertainment to recreate this type of animatronic that her husband made because it was dangerous. And that would also explain why the Mimic didn't kill us. And it would also explain why in Ruin, the Mimic looks different. That's the M2. It rebuilt some of its parts because we know it rebuilt at least some of its body because we find out that it rebuilt its legs. So we know that it knows how to rebuild itself. So it rebuilt some of it, well, a lot of its body, and over time it just became a completely new body. It just breaking, well, the parts of it just breaking and it remaking those parts. But I also believe that the M1 is possessed by Fiona, and that's why it worked so well. But I think it's David. Can't remember. I've not played the game yet. I've only watched videos of it so far. But David already possessed the tiger costume because he likes the tiger plush so much. That's why it's so like Golden Freddy, because it is a spirit. Well, mostly a spirit. And then, because of that, the Mimic we find is just an AI, doesn't know anything better. And I have another theory. This answers my question of why the Mimic always wears suits. Think of it, it wears the like fabric suits. It was that like made of metal suit that it made. I don't know how else to describe it. What other suit did it wear? But either way, why did it make that metal suit out of a bunch of different parts? Why did it do that? Why did the Mimic 2 do that? Well, also, in one of the secret endings of Ruin, why does it also like jumble together a bunch of the suits that you see into a costume for it to wear as well? I believe that the Mimic, like, since it's an endoskeleton, it feels weak. like it can just be destroyed easily. It probably can. Well, with the right tools, of course, like a car or something. But I think wearing the suits like gives it closure. I don't really know how to explain my theory. Like, it likes wearing the suits because it makes it feel safer. That's why it jumbles up a bunch of parts together when there are no other suits. Because it'll feel safer that way. And I also believe that's why it chases us in the other suits for so long in the game. It's not just because the animatronics it decides to use. It's not just because the like abilities are suited for that terrain. I think that the Jester one, I can't remember her name. The one that's in the box. Her arms can stretch out far, and because of that, it makes it easy to go around vents and small spaces. Then the Music Man one, again, I can't remember the name. Good for climbing places. And Snotty, the only one I can remember the name of. Like, she goes on the treadmill a lot, making her really fast. And when the Mimic, like, breaks free from the feet that are welded to the treadmill, it gives it a disadvantage in one way, but an advantage in another way. Because, well, it can now move anywhere. But it's not as fast. So this is kind of two thieves in one, isn't it? In my next video, I'll say like the timeline of the games, including mini games which tell the story, not like the Daycare mini game in Security Breach where it's literally just a mini game. I mean, like the ones where you play as William Afton, or the one where you play as Balloon Boy, or the one you play as Foxy. I don't know how to describe them yet. But the mini games, like tell a story. I've just realised something that contradicts my theory in my previous video. Ultimate Custom Night. I've got the perfect solution. When it was put into the VR game, William Afton's soul was sucked out of hell and put into the VR world. This is probably my longest video so far. So I hope you enjoyed my video. See you next time.